So I'm just going to give a few prompts, a few posed questions, a few ideas around analysis paralysis. And if you find that you overanalyze and overthink things and it stops you from taking action, gets you in any type of paralyzed, ineffective state where you don't really follow through with what you want to do, then just listen to each prompt, each question, each possibility, and just reflect on it for yourself and see, could there be any truth to that? And maybe do a bit of a journaling exercise for yourself in your own unique situation, because analysis paralysis is going to be different for everybody. And the reason it's different for everybody is that analysis paralysis is not a root cause problem, it's a symptom. And behind analysis paralysis, there could be different types of root causes that are prompting that kind of pattern or behavior. So I'll put a link to another video I did about breaking habits and patterns, which talks about a similar thing, understanding what is really going on and not dealing with the surface level symptomatic issue, but really looking at what is causing that in the first place. So with the situation of analysis paralysis, again, I'm just going to throw out some ideas about what could be behind that, what could be contributing to that, what might be something you want to look at around it. So the first thing is, consider whether analysis paralysis is a pattern for you. So it's something that you're so familiar with doing. You're so familiar with being an overthinker and overanalyzer that it's become the way that you operate. You don't even really think about it. Or maybe you're aware that you do it, but it just seems so normal and natural to you that you're doing it left, right, and centre. You're doing it in all different areas of your life. Or is it something that is very specific to a particular thing in your life? So it's only with regards to doing something new, it's only with regards to doing something in your career space, or it's only to do with something with relationships. Look and see where the analysis paralysis shows up, because that will start to show you what it could be linked to. If it's pervasive across all areas, it could be that it's just simply a pattern. It's just your way of operating. It's become so comfortable and familiar to you that it's going to be a case of bolstering yourself and having an action plan to push you through and push you over the line in order that you can create a new normal for yourself, a new version of what is possible for you. But by and large, it's likely to be that it's not just a pattern that you're used to and comfortable with, and it's not just a case of bolstering and pushing through. It's likely to be a whole mindset shift is needed behind that about what's going on that created it in the first place. If it's only in relation to one particular area, like it's just relationships or it's just career, for example, then interestingly you want to look at what your beliefs are around those things. Or if it's just in relation to anything to do with money or anything to do with taking risks, you want to look and say, there's something about that particular area that causes me to only overanalyze in that area. So I have got a sticky relationship with that particular topic, with that particular area of my life. That will help you. It's like a breadcrumb trail that you follow. That will help you to unpick where that started, why that started, what it is that you really fear, what it is that you are protecting yourself from potentially by getting stuck in over-analysis and not pushing through, not going through to that next level, whatever it might be. The other thing is you want to consider, are you a perfectionist? Not all over-analysis and not taking action, not following through and making things happen is about perfectionism at all. But perfectionism can lead to over-analyzing and getting stuck and not taking things through to completion and getting caught in this kind of mental cycle. So not all perfectionists get stuck though with analysis paralysis. So just see, if you're perfectionist by nature, then it may be something that causes you a few more problems in this area than other areas. Because if you are perfectionist, you, for example, have really high standards or really high ideals, then what you'll tend to do is try and make sure everything's perfect in a situation and the information that you've got and what you're doing and your understanding of it and making sure everything's lined up before you do anything. And the problem with that is that the world's not perfect and you're not perfect and neither is anybody else, and very few situations are perfect. It's a very naturally imperfect world, and so we all are naturally imperfect as well. And so that will create a cycle of analysis paralysis, because you're never going to have everything lined up. There's never going to be the ideal scenario or ideal situation. So if perfectionism, idealism is driving it, what it's about is starting to condition yourself into acceptance of the natural imperfection of yourself, situations, life, and other people, so that you can start to see that it's okay to have some grey area, it's okay to not necessarily have everything lined up, and that actually, if that's part of your kind of natural makeup, Your journey is to overcome that. Your journey is to evolve beyond that and to find a way to be comfortable as you grow in yourself and in your life, to take the benefits of perfectionism, which is high standards and excellence, while not being held back by the more crippling aspect of it, which could show up as analysis paralysis. So there's just potentially some personal growth you can do around in that area. The next thing to look at with analysis paralysis is, are you avoiding anything? By getting stuck in over-analysis, and this is very unconscious, by the way, not something you do on purpose, is, are you avoiding anything by being in that cycle of analysis? Because if you're not in analysis and you were taking action or you were progressing forward, then new things would be unfolding. Now, is any aspect of that scary to you? Is any aspect of that uncertain to you? Is there any risk involved for you? Is there something that on the other side of this analysis, once you understand and you've analysed everything and you're comfortable, and then you make a decision about whatever it might be and you take some action in this area, does that expose you to anything? Does that make you vulnerable to anything? Is there something that you're avoiding unconsciously, probably, by getting stuck in this analysis? It's a very safe place to be. I can stay within myself, I can stay within my comfort zone, I can stay within the cycle of questioning, and therefore I don't have to be out there doing XYZ thing or putting myself out there. So just look and see if that rings true for you, and if it does, then you want to be asking questions like, what am I avoiding? What would be the consequence of me not analysing and just moving forward on this? You also want to ask, what is the benefit of remaining where I am in analysis? Okay, so it's what is the risk of being out there, and what is the benefit of being stuck in this analytical cycle? Because if there are high benefits for you remaining stuck in this analytical cycle, or there are great risks or issues avoided by not breaking through to the other side, then you will just naturally continue to overanalyze, because you're self-protecting, staying safe, and doing what you think serves you at a very deep level, which is not a deep level as in your soul level, it's a deep level as in your subconscious. Is protecting you, thinking that there's something risky out there or there's something good here and you want to stay there. So it's quite simple. You use your conscious awareness to break it down. You use your conscious awareness to bring more understanding to the situation. Once you've got that greater understanding, you can start to feed that clarity to yourself constantly over and over again, start to train your subconscious, start to deal with the fears and the beliefs that may be holding you back. There's many different ways that you can go about doing that. You also definitely do want to look at what's predominantly the root cause of everybody's issues, which is your belief programming. So when you're thinking about whatever it is that you're overanalyzing, relationships, money, career moves, decisions, whatever it is, you want to say, what do I believe about this, and what do I believe about myself? And I'll just give you a really simple example. If you feel like you're not very good and you're not good enough at something, and you're about to do something, and your underlying programming is I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm a failure, or whatever it might be, and those are extreme ones, those are big ones, but you can have a many varied array of limiting beliefs. If you have those, you're not going to want to put yourself out there, because you risk exposing and being triggered in your I'm not enoughness. And if you feel like you're not enough in yourself, for example, then you by and large think you're not enough in what you do, and therefore you don't really want to do things, or you don't really want to put yourself out there, you don't really want to break through, because underlying there's a part of you that doesn't feel you're enough. And so staying in analysis cycle and not making decisions and not taking action is very much a self-protection thing. You don't then put yourself in a position where you would be exposed to feeling those feelings of not being good enough, and potentially producing something that's not good enough, and then feeling like you've just proven that you weren't good enough in the first place. And so we do all these sorts of strange things to take care of ourselves and protect ourselves, but actually we end up holding ourselves back. So really it's about saying, what are my beliefs? What do I believe to be true about myself and this area of my life that I'm stuck in analysis paralysis about? And then rather than trying to push yourself through the analysis paralysis, just deal with your beliefs, and then the flowing consequence will be, once you can clean up your beliefs about yourself and life, and you can have a healthy paradigm, you don't have these kinds of blocks and habits, because they flow from what you believe, which influences your thinking, which influences how you feel, which then inclines your choices, behaviour and actions, and results in these kind of patterns. So if you can deal with, what do I believe and where does that not work for me, and let me clean that up and change my mindset so that I believe accurate and healthy things about myself and about this area of life, then I'm more inclined to feel safe, feel good enough, feel worthy, feel capable, feel confident, and then I can take action, and I'm not needing to self-protect or avoid anything. And then the other thing about analysis paralysis I would just say is, just be really clear on if the thing that you're doing when you're talking about analysing and over-analysing and not going through to the next level and getting really stuck, it's quite possible that a couple of things are happening. You literally do not have enough information. Maybe there's a void of information and clarity, and so naturally you sense that and you're just trying to flesh it out and struggling with it because you know that you're not seeing the whole picture. So it might be a case of patience to let things unfold and understand more about the situation. It might be requiring a bit more research, a bit more understanding, a bit more skill development, so that you've got the data, the information, the understanding that you need in order to feel comfortable making decisions or taking action. The other thing is it can be just second guessing yourself. So second guessing your own intuition and therefore not feeling comfortable to make decisions or take action. And also it can be that maybe at some level, if it's only in a particular area, like it's a relationship or it's a particular job or career move or something that you're going to do with your money, whatever it is, it can be that something in you is actually not comfortable with it. It may actually not even be the right path. It may be something in you that's saying this is a warning sign, I'm stuck in analysis, something doesn't feel right. So notice it's not always about saying that the analysis paralysis is a bad thing. We have to be really clear about that and look at it from different angles. So I hope this video has been helpful just to give you a few different ideas, different ways of looking at analysis paralysis as a symptom and what might be going on behind that. If you need any help with that, you can reach out to me. I can do an hour session with you. We can find the root cause of your analysis paralysis and deal to it, or you might like to participate in the next intake of Master Your Mind, my 6-week program. I don't have dates for that yet, but it's likely to be circa around late September or October, and I will release information about that on my website and social media when we do have dates. So if it has been helpful, please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again really soon for more daily inspiration with Bea.